Good afternoon, everybody. I hope this is a great start to your week. Happy Monday. Not only a great start to your week, but also a great start to your new year, to your 2018. I am offering a 10-week course on financial literacy, and the reason why I'm offering this course is to help us usher in our finances differently, so that we can rethink the way we're spending our money, rethink the way that we're investing our money, and if we're not investing our money, rethink investments for us. For too long, too many of us think that investments are reserved for a certain class of people. So we're going to dispel that myth. But before we can even get to that high level of thinking and before we can get to that conversation, we have to manage what we have been given jurisdiction over to begin with. Um, the discussion of finances doesn't have to be a boring discussion. It doesn't have to be an intimidating discussion. It doesn't have to be something that gives us heartburn, something that we shy away from. But the reason why we have heartburn and we shy away from it is primarily due to the poor decisions that we make. Poor decisions that have been handed down to us, poor decisions that we have witnessed others whom we respect make. This is the year to change that. This is the year that we reclaim our own finances. This is the year that we plug in all of the leaks to our finances. For example, in another video, I mentioned credit cards, any sort of leverage. We think just because someone has extended that credit to us, someone has extended those means to us, somehow we think it means that we can go ahead and leverage and spend and use those things. But in this 10-week course, I want to usher us into a different frame of mind. I want to help us rethink and see when it is appropriate to leverage, when it's appropriate to use a credit card, when it's appropriate to use store credit. All those things are appropriate. All those things can be used strategically to help us build a complete financial plan. But we have to make sure that we're not spending beyond our means. We're not doing things outside of what we can handle. It doesn't matter what your income is. It doesn't matter what level of income you're on. I've seen all kinds of income, all kinds of habits from people at different and various income levels, from $20,000 a year on up to a million plus. And one thing I can tell you is that everybody believes that they don't make enough. That person that makes 800,000 a year plus has household employees, has different real estate holdings around the country, and they spend on their level. And with the more money comes more problems on whatever level that you graduate to. The same for that person that's making middle income. You know, they have their timeshares, they have all the goodies that they have. Even people that make like 18,000 a year out here buying the iPhone 10. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So that's a problem. That's a problem for us. And that's the head that I'm coming after with this 10-week course. And I want to encourage as many that will come along with this to go ahead and break and destroy those yokes. We need to be thinking wealth, not accumulation and the appearance and the form of wealth, because that's all Michael Kors is going to give you. That's all the iPhone 10 is going to give you, is the appearance and the temporary feel of wealth. Meanwhile, you ain't got two pennies to rub together. You don't even have a savings account. You don't even have a brokerage account. So let's rethink that. You know, when is enough too much? You know, when do you want those phone calls to stop? When those creditors are calling you, asking you about your debt. Doesn't that feel oppressive? Aren't you tired of that? At what point do you want peace? At one point do you want to be able to pick up your phone in security knowing that is nobody harassing you? You don't have to live like that. You don't have to live under the thumb of screening your call wondering, is this Capital One? Is this Discover Card? Is this whoever that wants to hassle me about money? Sally Mae, she will call. But, you know, let's free ourselves of that. Let's come up from under that thumb. A lot of the circumstances that we find ourselves in financially, when we really take a look at it, is largely due to some poor decisions that we've made. Let's honestly address that. Let's honestly admit that. And let's clean it up. Let's not get offended when somebody shines a light of truth on our situation. Let's deal with it and let's change it. And let's pass on a legacy of responsible financial literacy and responsible financial management to those that are watching us, to those that are coming behind us. This curse needs to be broken. So, in this 10-week course, this is what you'll get. We're going to first understand appropriate spending. We're going to understand budgeting, real budgeting, not this stuff where we come up with a budget because we've read some blog or we've read something in the book, and I think that's phenomenal. But for 10 weeks, you'll have a coach, me. You'll have a coach watching over that budget, giving you tools to how to actually use that budget. And that document needs to be your living, breathing document that guides you into all of your financial practices, really for the rest of your life. Nobody should be without a budget. I don't care who you are. If somebody says, I want to go to a Jill Scott concert, then let me tell y'all this. A lot of these examples that I'm using, I've lived it. So I'm not just pulling examples out of the thin air. I'm pulling these examples because I have lived it, and it has been something that I have had to resist myself and overcome. Saving and investing. Debt, again, appropriate debt. There is a level of debt that's appropriate for your income level. Let's find out what that is so that we're not drowning in debt. Debt is not something that you're supposed to drown in. It's supposed to be something that you're supposed to leverage. And when we think about leverage, think about a seesaw, and you're down here. And when you leverage, you're supposed to rise up. So we're supposed to use credit and we're supposed to use debt to leverage our finances. So we're going to talk about how to appropriately use debt, not just to accumulate things and not just to have on the form of wealth. Retirement. That's something that a lot of people are interested in, and also legacy and leaving an inheritance. There is no cost for the course. However, there are workbooks and there is a textbook that we need to guide us through this 10-week course. There is a cost for that. The cost for the book is $29.95. The shipping and handling on that is $10.91. The tax is $180. So altogether, it's $42.66. This is going to be offered in a ministry capacity. Okay, so there's going to be no cost to you. And if you think that there is anyone that could benefit from this 10-week course, I do ask that you share this information with them. Repost it, share it on your pages, share it in your email. It's going to begin the first Tuesday in February, which is February the 6th at 7 p.m. And it's going to end on April the 10th. Okay, now it's going to be scheduled for 1 hour, but then there's going to be question and answering. So if we need to go over a little bit, it could go over just a little bit. But my commitment is wealth, black wealth. But just because my commitment and my emphasis is black wealth does not mean that I'm not going to make the tools and the wisdom that I have gained and learned available to everyone that wants to join this course. But statistically, it is a known fact that people of color don't save, they spend. And we spend a lot of money. We need to go ahead and reclaim some of that, our own wealth. Too much of our money is leaving our community too, by the way. But anyway, let's first of all try to retrain our thinking to try to find out, what is the point of us spending all this money and just losing all our wealth. There's just no point. It's pointless. At what point do we want to stop going to Red Lobster, Blue Lobster, Purple Lobster, Green Lobster, all of this? My own personal testimony, part of it, just real briefly, when I went to go buy a house at the age of 24, I couldn't. I had a nice disposable income. I was working for a Big Four accounting firm. I did not have enough credit to secure a mortgage, and that shot my ego like nothing else ever did. So what did I do? For 18 months, I buckled down, and I negotiated with my creditors. Some tools I'm going to share with you. I negotiated with my creditors. I paid them sometimes as much as 70% less than what it was just to give them something. Of course, they charged it back, and I had to write it off of my taxes. We'll go over that as well. But I did that for 18 months. I packed my lunch, I packed my breakfast for 18 months. I didn't go see Jill Scott. I didn't go to concerts. I didn't go out for 18 months. And by the time I was ready to move, check this out. I put down a down payment on 3 houses. I closed on two, and I had to wait some time to get my money back from the other house. And by the time I moved into my primary residence, I had $10,000 in the bank chilling in case anything happened to the roof, the hot water heater, anything like that. And I wasn't making a lot of money during that time, but I was making a decent salary. It can be done. We'll look at how much money we're spending. We're going to reclaim that money for our savings. We're going to convert our savings into investments. And we're going to convert our investments into wealth. So the classes are going to start February 6th, 7 p.m. I'm going to put the registration link under this video, and I hope to see you there.